Hello fight fans, this is Brian with your UFC 201 review. Like I said, sorry it's a little bit late, ran into a couple problems, but anyway, first off, it was a pretty good card. Like I said, a lot more knockouts in this card than I actually thought it was going to be. Several knockouts. Turned out to be a great card. Have a new champ, welterweight champ, which was a complete shocker to me, but congratulations to Woodley. I'll get to the main event in just a second. I'm going to start off with the two prelims on Fight Pass, and that was the Almeida and Brown. Brown ended up winning the fight by KO in round number 2 at the 2-minute 27 mark, so Brown takes that fight. Next up, we had Graves versus Volkovich, which is a Russian name. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry if I did. Sorry, man. But like I said, I told you it would probably be a submission win, and it was a submission victory. Ended up going to round 1. In round 1, he got the submission victory over the Russian, and I didn't think Grace was going to win it, but he did, and I'm kind of glad he did. He pulled it out. All right, the second fight up was Sandoval versus Reyes. Reyes defeated Sandoval by submission, another doggone submission victory at 149 in round 1. And this was kind of these first few fights shaped up kind of like I thought the card was going to start going at the beginning or whatever with the submissions. I said it was going to be a complete jiu-jitsu battle because you had a lot of great jiu-jitsu practitioners in this card. Next up we had was Hamilton versus Gawowski. And Hamilton ended up defeating Gawowski by knockout 14 seconds into round number 1. Huge knockout, big win for Hamilton. Congratulations. Next up was Jose Masvidal versus Ross Pearson. Great fight. They went in and they banged. Like I said, both guys went in and did what they normally do: go in, throw punches, bang, and try to take the other guy out. It was a great fight, but Pearson just happened to came in and on the doggone losing side of things. It actually wasn't to the doggone decision. I had Masvidal winning all 3 rounds, 10-9. So I agree with the judges on this decision. A lot of times you're going to find out I don't agree with the judges on a lot of decisions, but on this one, I believe they got it right. Next up, we had Krylov versus Herman. Ed Herman, I told you, he was coming in. He's been a veteran. He's been a journeyman in the UFC. He's on Ultimate Fighter, and one of those very first early editions. I can't remember exactly which one it was. I want to think it was either the second or the third one. I think it was the one where Shaw was on. But anyway, I sidetracked from that. Ended up being, just like I said, a doggone knockout. Instead of it being a knockout in round 1, it came in round 2, and Ed Herman went down. I told you, Herman probably really needed this fight to stay relevant in the UFC because he hasn't really been doing too well here of late, and this probably will be Herman's last fight, to be honest with you, in the octagon. He'll probably go somewhere like Bellator or World Series of Fighting or somewhere like that, outside of UFC. But Ed Herman still has a few more fights in him, just not up under the UFC banner. But congratulations to Krylov. Picked up a huge victory because Ed Herman is not an easy guy to knock out. Next up, we had Benoit versus Serrano, and in this fight, it was another doggone decision. So you had 2 submissions, 2 decisions now, and this decision went the way I kind of thought it was gonna go. It went to Benoit. I thought Benoit probably would win by knockout, but he ended up winning by decision, which is even pretty cool too. Next up, we are going to start moving to that was the first light heavyweight. First main fight card. This is the second main fight card right here, and that was Rivera versus Perez. And Perez defeated Rivera by another doggone decision. So I guarantee you a lot of the fight fans out there are probably getting bored right now watching this card because you had decision after decision. You had 3 decisions in a row, and I know a lot of people who are casual fans don't like that. But Rivera ended up picking up the win. I said Rivera picked up the win. I thought he won by knockout, but he won by decision. Not too upset. Kind of happy with the win. Next up, we had Brown versus Ellenberger. And this, I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, watching this doggone fight took me completely for a doggone loop. I did not think Ellenberger was going to be able to do anything with Matt Brown, but Ellenberger stunned Matt Brown in doggone round number 1 in 1 minute 46 seconds into the fight, and he got the knockout victory. And I want to say congratulations to Jake Ellenberger, because Ellenberger was probably on the way out of the UFC. If he had lost this fight, this probably would have done it for him. But Jake Ellenberger lives to fight another day, as they say in the fight world, and I'm kind of glad. I like Ellenberger. He always goes in there. He always gives you a good fight. So congratulations to him. Tough break, Matt Brown. You'll be back. You'll be back, dude. You're a great fighter. You'll be back. Next up was the girl fight. Two girls that names I'm just not even gonna try to butcher. Rose ended up getting defeated. I want to say Kowalkiewicz ended up winning. By decision. I thought this probably would be a knockout, because females usually go out and try to do it, but it was a decision, and she just kind of dominated all 3 rounds. So I agree with the judge's decision on this one too. Next up, the main event, which I said it a minute ago, it shocked me. It really shocked me, because I did not think Tyron Woodley would be able to take Robbie Lawler's punches, because Robbie Lawler is one of the hardest hitters in the UFC. I told you he was once a heavyweight, so he still has that heavyweight type doggone power. But since he's dropped down to doggone welterweight, he actually has a welterweight speed now, so that speed and power can be deadly sometimes. But giving all props to Tyron Woodley, man, that kid went in and he did exactly what he's supposed to do. He fought the fight he was supposed to fight, and he really, I think, kind of shocked Robbie Lawler at first, because Robbie Lawler is usually hitting guys and they go down. But Woodley stayed in there, man. He stayed in the pocket. He stayed with his game plan and fought the perfect fight. And that's what you have to do in championship fights. There's no way you're going to win a UFC gold unless you fight the perfect fight. I am glad to say Robbie Lawler did that. I am glad to say Robbie Lawler fought the perfect fight, but Tyron Woodley was just a little bit better tonight. Hey, and that's the way the fight game goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But when you go in that octagon, you know that, and you go in with that risk. Robbie Lawler was a great champion. For the time he had the belt, I think he defended the title 3 times. Irregardless, he was a great champion. Robbie Lawler will be back. I probably look at him to get a rematch after this, because right now in the welterweight division, you really don't have too many guys that's at that top-notch contender right now, and I think will pose a problem for Woodley or either Lawler. So I think they'll both probably come back and fight both each other again. I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be upset about that. I would like to see this fight again, because it was, as long as it lasted, it was a great fight. Tyron Woodley just edged him out, caught him with a punch. They say the punches you never see is the punch they get you. Pretty much, that's all I have. Great card for UFC. The next UFC is coming up, and that will be the UFC live on Fox Sports South, and that's Rodriguez versus Caceres, and that will be Saturday. So Saturday, August 6th, and it's going to be at 10 p.m. So with that being said, I want to thank all you sports fans for